Okay, so let me see if I get this straight. Everything leading up to this season was supposed to be that we were getting Vanguard in New York. We were supposed to be in the Big Apple. That's where this show was happening. Because this is the big city. You can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And what's the first thing you do? You leave New York for Dallas? The Dallas, frickin' Texas. The what the hell, man? We were supposed to get our card games in New York season. You took that from me. You freaking took it from me. We're never gonna get it back. Unless, another card game anime just picks it because it's recognizable. But I wanted my card games in New York City. This is the worst Vanguard season ever. All the other bad Vanguard seasons do not compare. Not season 2, not IF, not G, because we left New York. No, as a New Yorker, I am supposed to think the only place in the world worth being in is Manhattan, but not Times Square, because that's for the tourists. All right. All joking aside, we left New York, which, I thought it was going to be the whole season in New York. I don't know why you would fly 3 Japanese teenagers out to New York and then have them just go across the country for 3 card fights when you just have the 3 card fighters come there. Also, I love how they do this thing in card game anime where you just get a whole stadium for like 1 game. And all of the anime do this. It's not just Vanguard. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh's a bad one for it. It's just like your average like 1 game usually takes, okay, now's a bad example because Yu-Gi-Oh's in a really long format and Ava games take a long time in Vanguard, but for the most part, I'm just kind of like, all these people for 1 game? Come on. Also, I love how they made it sound like, from the way they were presenting it, that it's just like a simple drive from New York to Dallas, as opposed to that's 20 something hours, I think, in a car. It's like 12 from here to North Carolina from where I am. But whatever, that's TV. I literally had a teacher from England in high school who said he was going to take his family up to Niagara Falls for a day trip. For those of you who don't know, Niagara Falls is about 6.5 hours from where I'm currently sitting. But yeah, no, this episode did actually a lot of good things. So the first thing that happened, we saw Donji break into that office where there was a computer that, just based on the simple thing of no dust, I like little details like that. Donji was able to deduce, okay, people were here recently, and then the computer starts sending him messages, which makes me think of my Riddler joke from last week and think, oh my god, I figured out it's the Riddler, he's the one behind all this. But yeah, no, it's just the same message before. Hey, I want a card fight, you Donji, you sexy boy. But yeah, no, and then there's the invitation for Deluxe, which is what sort of led to where we are right now. And then we have everyone in the car. Why is Donji coming with them? Why did the guy allow that? I don't know, but he is. But they do something I really appreciated, and that was when everyone asks what is going on, Donji gives them a straightforward answer. I really hate it, and I know I've brought this up before, but Vanguard was very guilty of it for a long time. I hate it when characters keep secrets from each other just for the sheer purpose of you want those reveals for later. Like, the example I always go back to is Cardfight Vanguard Season 2, where Aichi just didn't tell Masaki and Kamui anything, even after he was proven to be able to just jog Kai's memory of everything. It shows that, like, the characters don't have any respect for each other. Aichi didn't value or respect Masaki or Kamui enough to trust them with information about the tournament he was dragging them into, nor does he expect that they'll believe him despite being supposedly close friends. So seeing that Donji has that ability to recognize and understand that these guys need to know a few things, I think shows a lot of his character and his growth, and everyone's directness with it, I think also shows growth on their part as well, that they're willing to take that this situation is going to get very dark and potentially very strange. So that was very nice. But then they get to the Dallas card shop. Full disclosure, I've never been to Texas for more than like that hour and a half layover I had on my way to California this past summer. So I don't really know a lot about Dallas, but I did kind of wish that we would have seen some details in the city to give it personality like we did New York. And I know that New York City and Dallas are two very different things, especially in the eyes of an international audience. But just a couple things other than like, oh, there's a scene at a rodeo and there's cattle. That's Texas. But in exchange for that, I loved the scene at the card shop. I know some people think that these shops are inspired by real shops, so maybe there is a shop in Dallas and that's why we're here. But I loved when you went to the shop and like everyone just started acting like kids. That was so adorable. Also, the scene of Donji haphazardly trying to get through New York was really funny. I love Donji so much. But yeah, like I just sort of like that you get to see the other two let go for a few minutes. I like that Rika's all like, oh, gotta be serious, gotta be straightforward. But he's like looking at all these cool cards and he's like, oh, I kind of want this, I kind of want that. Toya just completely lets go, like, oh yeah, we gotta get this, let's get some cases. Just like interactions like that are just so good for the characters. Seeing them bounce off each other, seeing them have fun, like those are the things that make all this worth it. And seeing Rika get to be part of the insanity, I thought was really nice. Also, it's fun to see Yu get to be the mature one for a change. That made for a nice split up. But while that's going on, we see that Sam has followed our heroes down to Dallas, and Donji goes out there. And I kind of like the fact that Sam's not hiding that he followed them. Like, literally, like, he basically was just standing out there trying to get Donji's attention. And when they talked, I think it became very clear we're not going to try and do a fake out. Sam is not a villain. He maybe has his own agenda, but he is also trying to figure out what's going on here. That's where we then learn the second detail, and that is that fighters who are going missing come back a little bit later unharmed, but the question is what happened to them? Clearly something was done to them. And this is where the question becomes, is it still okay to keep information from them, like little details like that? And that I actually think is okay. Donji gave everyone the information they need to know that they have to be careful, card fighters are going missing, and a lot of evidence points to Deluxe is involved. That is what they need to know. The difference here between other similar situations is that Donji is older than them. He is an adult, and as an adult, he does feel like he has to keep certain things from them or tell them things when they're ready. Will that turn out to be a smart decision? Will it not? Time will have to tell. But the fact that we have been shown a scene that Donji will tell people information that's prevalent to the situation and their lives, I think is a very good way of showing Donji does respect them, but also understands he has to keep certain things close to the chest till he's able to give them more information. After that, we move on to the card fight where we learn that all I remember, I forget her first name already, but her last name Belle was kind of cool. We meet our, I guess you'd call her, I guess like the Ren of the season or the, why am I blanking on everyone's name? But you know how it is, the main sort of card fight opponent before the big baddie type character. And she, I actually quite like. I like the way the minute she shows up, there's just something kind of off about her. The way she talks, the way she presents herself, the way she acts around everybody. It's a lot different from how everyone else sort of behaves in this type of show. And I really like it. Like, she almost sounds kind of like Ren, like this sort of flirty, but also sort of manipulative type voice. And again, I like, well, not again, but I like that translated to how everyone then interpreted her. Donji and Rika all feel that something is off about this girl. There's woman. I like she's a woman, and boy, is she a woman. But there's just something not right about her, the way she's coming off, the way she's acting during the fight. She's obviously been affected by whatever's going on here. And I think they do a good job of showing that she is strange and different, and we're going to learn a lot about her. But then they do the ultimate thing I wasn't expecting, and that is Rika actually beats her. He goes full on Youth Burke and just like takes her the fuck out. And as someone who's in the middle of building Youth Burke, if I could ever figure out a way to get the other two Tempest for a good price, it's just, I mean, yeah, Youth Burke's a powerful deck. She's playing like this thing that got revealed today that no one's particularly excited for. But what I think this does is that it sort of sets up that like anything can kind of happen. A major villain character like this can lose. Shut up, Train. And what I'm excited about is what will this mean in the future? Will she get mad that she lost? Will she maybe go back for more psychic power, whatever the fuck is going on? Like all these little things like you can now speculate and wonder about because you made it that our guy won. He beat the bad guy before she's revealed to be the bad guy. So you do wonder what could happen next. At the end there, when she's like, I can't wait to play for real next time. That's where I get excited. So yeah, this was a really good episode, did a lot of really nice things, but give me your thoughts about it in the comments section below. And as for the Vanguard question of the week, so Springfest locations are out. Did we talk about Springfest last week? I can never remember anything. But anyways, yeah, it was revealed that day ones will be standard and V. Day twos will be Weiss and premium. My question to you is, are you okay with the switch up from last year where V was Sunday and premium was Saturday? Do you think Weiss and D should be on Saturday, being the two main things promoted? Do you not like this setup in the first place? Because a lot of people are not crazy about it, just sort of like replacing Buddy Fight with V, and it is kind of a mess. But give me your thoughts about that in the comment section below. And as always, click to like, click subscribe, and join me next week to see what other American cities they just sort of glance over that they're in.